Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and with all the hype around Zygarde Carbink after doing so well in Expanded in America, I thought we'd actually take a look at Zygarde in Standard. This is actually a deck that for some reason I have the most playtesting against, because my friend and testing partner Luke, who you normally see on the weekly live stream, he has been testing and playing Zygarde a lot, and just consequently, I've had to play against it a lot. So this is an archetype that he really likes, and I've seen a lot of, and I've seen his list progress through the weeks and the months. So I think he's got pretty close to a really, really good turbo Zygarde list. Now, in Expanded, it's more focused on Carbink and stalling and healing and Focus Sash and stuff like that. Here, we're just trying to go aggressive with its low energy attacks with the Zygarde, but then having powered up in the background, you're going to have Max Elixirs, and you also do have the 1 power memory in here. So the deck has 1 hit KO potential, as well as a lot of early game aggression for just 1 energy attachment. So it's a pretty good deck. It's not too ability focused. The Regirocks are in there as a damage increaser, but it's not like absolutely awful when ability lock hits us. So it's a really good balance of just being a big attacker, and really it's down to your opponent to see if they can overcome that. So let's jump into the deck. It's a very, very simple archetype, and that's one of the reasons why it's quite appealing, because normally 1 Ultra Ball gets you set up because of Hoopa, and then you're rolling for just 1 energy, and you're just hitting with a big dude with a lot of HP, and just trying to out-hit your opponent in a lot of spots. So let's have a look at him. The main attacker is, of course, Zygarde EX. 190 HP. If this wasn't 190, Zygarde would be terrible. Just gonna throw it out there right now. 190 is such a huge deal. In so many games I've played against Luke, I've been trying to hit the magic 180. 180 is what we know in Pokemon as the number that we need to hit. So just having that extra 10, so many times it's left on 10 HP remaining. With Fury Belt on top of that as well, he becomes huge. He's very, very difficult to knock out. Even in 2 hits, because Cellstorm, its second attack, heals 30 from himself. And for only 2 energy, it's 60 damage, but we have Strongs, we have Regirock, we have Fury Belt. That easily gets into 2 hit KO range. So Zygarde, that HP is one of the biggest factors for why he's worth thinking about and worth playing in general. Just things like Volcanion. If you have a Fury Belt on this guy, we're 230. So 3 steam ups doesn't even KO, because that's 220. It's just gross. Like Mega Gardevoir, the Despair Ray with a full bench, they have to discard everything if they want to 1-hit KO you. That's even with a Rattata being dropped so that you lose Fury Belt. Obviously, if you keep Fury Belt on, you're not going down at all. So that 10 HP in so many spots is just so amazingly good. So 190 HP is one of the crutches of Zygarde, really, and it's such a simple thing, like, oh, I just have more health, I guess it's harder to knock me out then. It's simple, but it's a really big point to note, because so many games, honestly, I've tested this deck a lot, and that 10 HP is a huge factor here. So, let's look at his attacks. First of all, Lance Pulse does 20 base for a single fighting. If there's a stadium card in play, it does 20 more damage. So the dream is, of course, we find a stadium, or our opponent has a stadium. Let's bear in mind that 3 to 4 stadium is necessary in some decks, and it's a minimum 2 of, really, in a lot of decks. Only things like stage 1s try and play 1 or 0. So Stadium War is around, it's prevalent. We play 3 of our own, so a lot of the time we're going to be meeting the condition of finding 1 stadium, 1 energy. If it's a strong energy, we're doing 60. Regirocks on top of that can get to 80. We can get to 90 with 1 energy very calmly with strong Fury Belt double Regirock. So you can see the pressure already is there. Think about things like Greninja. We can start pressuring Froakies from turn 1. Turn 2, we slap a second energy on. We're still pressuring Frogadiers. Put that third energy on. As long as we've got Regirocks and Strongs in some combination, we're KOing quite easily just by attaching for turn each time. That's really all it takes. So Zygarde is just great for early game pressure. It's just a lot of good damage. Anything that's got an EX in the active, you can pretty much put it into at least, maybe not 1-hit KO range with just a Lance Pulse, but put it in range of your second attack, Cellstorm, which is, as I just mentioned, 60 for 2, one of them having to be fighting, and you also get to heal 30 from yourself. So already mentioned the HP is huge. pushing yourself out of 2-hit KO range is just dirty. It's just really good. We have a lot of healing to complement Zygarde with its second attack. We play both Olympia and Pokemon Center Lady in here, so that's a real good cornerstone attack. You do use Cellstorm a lot. Lysandre is an option. 100 damage baseline. Regirock's again on top of that is a 120 baseline, which is very good. 2-hit KOing Megas without even thinking about strong energies or fighting Fury Belts. Bear in mind, of course, that Zygarde does have the fake G booster, the new age of G booster, which is called Power Memory, which has the All Cells Burn attack, which discards 3 energy attached to this Pokemon for 200 damage. It's a very, very good attack. Even the discard of 3, it's oftentimes worth it. As long as you don't tool up your Zygarde, you're threatening it, even with 2 energy on. So people are sometimes worried about having to bring up their main attacker. If they've got something in the bench that they can't one-hit KO the Zygarde, and that's their main attacker, they have to be really careful if Zygarde has 2 energy on it, because all it takes is attach Power Memory, I'll blow you up. Let's hope you have other attackers in the background, because oftentimes, because we have elixirs and even energy switch to an extent, we will have another attacker ready to go. So Power Memory, it's normally like a 1 usage per game thing, but it changes the game because you just wipe the biggest threat off the board if you can time it well. So Power Memory is also a real big reason why Zygarde is very good. You even get over Megas with Strongs and Regirocks on top, like I keep saying. So all 4 of its attacks, really, if you count the tool, Zygarde is threatening all sorts of things. So your opponent has to play around a lot all at once, and it's difficult to do, quite simply. The weakness to Grass is a big problem. It's becoming a bigger problem than it was maybe a few weeks ago, because Stage 1s has sort of popped up as a rogue archetype that some people are trying to enjoy after London, because there was some success, bubbling at 9th, and also making other top 32 and top 64 slots. So the weakness to Grass isn't great. Also, because you're a fighting type, that's not great either, because a lot of good decks have resistance to fighting. Think Yveltal, think Rayquaza. These are the 2 big ones, really. So that's one of the biggest things holding back Zygarde right now. Awkward weakness, and a lot of people have common resistance to you, even Shaymin EX, for example. So these are the biggest weaknesses, I think, for Zygarde, but the rest of the deck is just solid, and it just does a lot. So complementing it, I've mentioned the Regirocks a lot. 180 HP, basic fighting EX Pokemon with the ability Regi Power. The attacks of your fighting Pokemon, excluding Regirock, do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So yeah, these stack, obviously. So we have a total of 2 in here. I know previously Luke has had 3, but we're sort of cutting back for 2 because we want to add in things like E-Hammer and stuff. But it's just a good damage booster for early pressure. That's all it is, really. It helps out in a lot of maths. So we like this. Also, if you're in a pinch, you can attack with him. Unadvisable, but sometimes it's okay. For 3 fighting, we do 100. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon is reduced by 20. So really, it does fit the theme of just being tanky EX Pokemon trying to outlast your opponent in a 2-hit war a lot of the time. Especially when one of our attacks can be a 1-hit KO with Power Memory. So Fury Belt up at Regirock. If you've got no target to Elixir onto and you just need pressure, you can start Elixiring to Regirock. It's not a huge problem because you can get comfortable 2-hit KOs. Again, Fury Belt and Strong Energy pushes him into that range, and you do 100 and you're reducing 20 each time you do it. So you get to be a big tank as well. So Regirock is cool as a bench sitter, but never discount him as its own attacker as well. So we have the Hoopa Shaymin support, the 1 Hoopa for the Scoundrel Ring, the 2 Shaymin for the setup ability, and the non-EX of choice is a curious one that we don't see in many decks, but trust me, Luke's played this a lot, and it does help out in a lot of situations. The non-EX Hoopa. So, this is in here for a couple of reasons. Firstly, we want a non-EX. We just want to have a non-EX in the deck so that other people using Escape Rope, which is a popular card right now, really, or just forcing Lysandres, forcing the 7 prize game. It's such a simple concept, and just having 1 non-EX in the deck of any description helps out. So why specifically this Hoopa? Well, Hyperspace Punch for the single energy does 20 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, and this is going to help out in a couple of matchups which otherwise you would just be done for. I've already mentioned the Grass weakness is a big factor here. And I think without the non-EX Hoopa, you pretty much just scoop to any Vespiquen build. Fortunately, we have this guy. Fury Belt this guy up, 117 non-EX. It's very difficult for a Vespiquen to reach that amount for 2 or 3 turns, really, a lot of the time. So we can be firing off hyperspace punches, and Combee has only 40 HP. So oftentimes you can take cheeky prizes here and there. This guy gets a huge amount of value in that matchup, where otherwise you just scoop up your cards because your entire deck is weak to grass. So this guy bails you out in that matchup. It just sets up smaller math as well. If you happen to lead with him, it's not really a problem because you can still pressure things just by poking, setting up the opponent's threats on the board, even putting them on things like Zygarde EXs and stuff. That can help out in the late game, even like Volcanions, because although Power Memory is obviously a one-hit KO, for the rest of the game, it's almost, we fall just shy quite a bit of the time. Having like 2 Regirock, 2 strong, and a normal fighting energy gets us to 160 with our second attack, so our third attack, sorry, with Zygarde EX. So Hyperspace Punch is a really good option for that. The other matchup is of course going to be Gyarados for a single fighting, just dealing with 2 Magikarps. We have the Hex to get over Mr. Mime if they play Mime. It turns a matchup which otherwise you really could not win. Gyarados also has resistance just to make it even harder for you. Although it's difficult for them to get the one-hit KO, we're really not doing much in response. So the non-EX Hoopa helps out, deal with Carps. We only need a 1 count because they play Buddy Buddy Rescue. It's their main way of getting Magikarp back, which means we get Hoopa back, which means we can constantly be threatening for multiple prizes, and Gyarados can't adapt to that approach. So Hoopa bails you out in 2 key matchups, as well as just there are spots where it's good. So do bear him in mind. Very good stuff. So very simple, low Pokemon count of 9. But yeah, that's all we need. The tricks really come in the item section of the deck. You can see we have a cool few one-offs in here. First of all, the Super Rod is going to help recycle things. A lot of the time it's going to be energy, just to improve late game elixirs and just make sure that we have a lot of extra attachments. Power Memory, of course, gets rid of energy. Scorched Earth gets rid of energy. So we want to recycle these, as well as maybe the odd attacker or like a Shaymin or something for late game protection of N. 1 of Energy Switch. At times there's been a 2 of in Luke's deck. Again, it just complements a few things in here. If you're elixiring without a Zygarde on bench, you can get it on something else and then just move it over. Getting into a math range that your opponent doesn't expect at times. If you've gone for the first attack, then you can elixir to bench, manual attach to active, E-switch to active. Suddenly you're getting a KO out of nowhere. That can be huge. Again, setting up Power Memory. If you use Power Memory 1 turn, you can attach E-switch from bench once again to start carrying on with another attack. So it's just really good at preserving and making sure that energy sticks on board in the right places. So it's a good one-of, I think. It always gets the value as the one-of. As a 2 of, it was cool. It made good tricks, so maybe this is something that you might want to increase further. But at the moment, we've just got the 1 in here. 1 Escape Rope. This is bailing us out against things like Jolteon because we're being cheeky / lazy and not playing Ranger. So Escape Rope is our option there, as well as being an additional switch card. Just getting out of things like Fright Night because we are otherwise focused on 2 Floatstone plus Olympia. So it's just an extra switch out. One of the things with this deck is that we have a lot of heavy retreating Pokemon. So having the 1 rope in here is pretty cool. We do have 2 Enhanced Hammer. This is really metagame cool because it wasn't in here in his original list, but there's a few decks right now which otherwise are just too difficult. Yveltal is now becoming more and more popular, probably the most popular deck to worry about. So putting them back on energy is a great way for us to stay in the game. It means that we're less scared about Fright Night. It means that Yveltal EX is rarely getting into 1-hit KO range as long as we can help it. So E-Hammer is going to be great for that. Additionally, Rainbow Road. We have 2 E-Hammer and 2 Parallel in here. So that's the main way that we balance out that matchup, just by having, again, high HP, 2 E-Hammer, 2 Parallel City, just trying to stop their flow as much as possible and making sure that helps us enough to get into the game with like elixirs and having multiple attackers ready to go. So it's going to be really big for a few matchups, and I think it's really good as a 2 count for slowing the opponent down. Then we have the 3 Trainer's Mail, consistency-wise. 4 Elixir, we are playing 9 counts, so the energy is the same line as Yveltal Garb, so you'd expect to hit the energy a similar amount of times. So 4 of those just for acceleration. It's pretty big in this deck to accelerate. It's just a big part of the deck, so that you keep going with really just high HP, high damage attacks. It's just such a simple concept, really. 4 Ultra, 4 VS Seeker. The plethora of supporters that we play, VS Seeker gets a lot of value. It's a very good card. Let's look at some of the one-offs. One-off Hex Maniac. This helps us when we reach the late game against a Greninja player, after we just spend the first 4 turns KOing everything in our path. True story is that Luke was able to one-hit KO a Talonflame on his turn 1. So going second, he one-hit KO'd a Talonflame. So Zygarde takes the first 4 prizes regardless against a Greninja. It gets potentially scary late game, just because of the amount of shurikens they can come up with, but we have the Hex anyway. Hex is mainly in here for things like Volcanion, which is a very 50-50-ish matchup. I think Volk has to draw well to have a good... Well, it always has to draw well, but with the Hex in here, you have a decent time against Volcanion. So yeah, that's pretty good. It just helps us get around annoying stuff as well, like item lock and whatever random stuff people want to do. Hex is always an option for you. Shuts off Mr. Mime, so Hyperspace Punch does things against Gyarados as well. So there we go. The one-off Pokemon Center Lady, we've said so many times that this guy likes to load up energy on himself, so we want to keep him nice and healthy. You can deny a 2-hit KO by doing Cellstorm plus PCL. It's pretty gross sometimes, so it's a big supporter card in here. Additionally, we play Olympia. Normally it's an either-or question. Here it's like you definitely want to play both. Olympia protects you from Fright Night. It protects you just from Lysandre stall in general. It's just really good for moving stuff, and again gives you the cheeky heal sometimes. So yeah, really like the Olympia. The one of N, just as a testament to how aggressive this deck likes to be. You want to be taking a prize on turn 1 or 2. So only really need 1 N in here because it's just not the key supporter that you want in the game. You want to be drawing more cards than this a lot of the time. But of course in the close matchups you still need to shuffle draw your opponent sometimes and make it so that they're out of their big old hands. So then we need the double Lysandre, just goes in line with the aggressiveness of this deck, finishing off things that we're setting up 2-hit KOs for, all those sorts of things. And for Professor Sycamore, just dump and draw is still the best thing in here, and we're trying to be turbo, so 4 Sycamore helps out a lot. Onto the stadiums. Parallel City, we know is so good for so many reasons. Against Greninja, you limit their output. Against Volcanion, you limit their output. Even, I guess you could argue, against Vespi, you limit their output. It is before applying weakness and resistance, so bear that in mind. You clear off Hoopas and Shaymins, as we all know, after a Nuts turn 1. You can limit your opponent's bench if need be. Just really versatile card. Yeah, just very, very strong stuff. We also play 1 Scorched Earth, many so that we have a way of bouncing other people's parallel, so we can get ours into play, start developing that. Why Scorched Earth? Well, just because we want to have those aggressive turns, like I want to allude back to. Additionally, if you reach the late game, it can protect you a little bit against an N, so at times this has been a 2 count as well. At the moment we're favouring 2 parallel because of the worry of Rainbow Road, but if maybe that goes down in play, I could see 2 Scorched, 1 parallel, depending on the meta, but I do like this just for extra draw outs, and keeping it in play means you're safer against N, so that's pretty cool. 2 Fighting Fury Belt, getting you into a ridiculous HP range of 230. You're basically like a Primal Groudon at that point, so that's pretty good, and it's an extra 10 damage as well, which is also very relevant, so very good stuff. And 2 Floatstone as well. Luke always tells me that his favourite starter is Regirock EX, because you just slap a Floatstone on that guy, Hoopa, and then your Zygardes are chilling on the bench so that they're safe, and also you can elixir them. So Floatstone's a cornerstone in here, obviously, because everything has like 3 retreat. Zygarde and Regirock both have 3 retreat. Hoopa's actually like the light guy in the deck with just a 2 retreat cost. So yeah, we need Floatstone. And the power memory I've already mentioned, it's just what we need to get over anything in our path. Very good stuff. 4 strong energy, just increasing that damage. I hear it's pretty good. And 9 fighting as well. The count so that we can get good elixir value and just have plenty of manual attachments for turn, because missing attachments is a way that Zygarde can lose, so you have to make sure you keep on top of those, so that's pretty good. Looking at other options in here, a lot of people may be gobsmacked that there's no Carbinks at all. All of them are worth considering. Energy Keeper, because there's things like Houndoom Bumblebee running around. You can instantly just make that matchup unlosable by playing Carbink. Even playing just Safeguard plus the Carbink Break means you probably never lose to like a Energy Denial deck, because Diamond Gift is insane. In Expanded, this is the way the deck is played. Very thick Carbink. I think it was like 4-3 line. And just recycling, and then it plays like double power memory. It's a slightly different build to this one. Really, we just like being more aggressive on the opening turns and pressuring the opponent based on the metagame right now. We feel in Standard that there's so much garb anyway that Safeguard's not as good. There's like heavy Hex and lists even, there's ropes and stuff, so the heavy Carbink that works so nicely in Expanded is not the case here. It feels a little bit slow to jam in like a 2-2 stage 1 line into this deck, and you lose a lot of the pace, which is why this deck often wins games just by having raw aggression in the early turns. So it doesn't fit the playstyle of this build, but I could definitely see there being a Zygarde Carbink version of this deck also. Next up, let's look at some of the items and stuff. One that you probably wouldn't expect is Special Charge. Special Charge is something that Luke hasn't played before, but we've debated it just because Strong Energy is so good for numbers. The amount of times you can just randomly win a game because you've got no board state, but you just go, oh hey, attach a single Strong Energy to Zygarde, and that's suddenly enough to get you like 90 damage. So yeah, Special Charge is potentially worth it. At the moment, our only recycle is Super Odd, and that makes a bit more sense just because you want to hit more elixirs and stuff. So there's an argument for both or either. Next up is Max Potion. We're not playing Max Potion in here, but it could be an option. It can help out when you're just losing a 2-hit KO war, so you can be like a heavily damaged Zygarde. It happens a lot where you're heavily damaged, even after like a 2-hit attack from your opponent, you can still be remaining on like 10 or 20 HP. You could Max Potion off, attach 1 energy, and start again. So it's an option. I think it's just a little bit too niche right now. And we would rather just have Pokemon Center Lady that we can recycle from the discard pile. Definitely an option though. Really it's a matter of energy attachments being a little bit too precious to do this sort of thing. But it's for sure an option. Even as a one-off, I could see it working out quite nicely. Speaking of one-offs, let's look at a couple of supporters. Team Flare Grunt is an option. Similar to our approach with the Enhanced Hammer, you can try and slow your opponent down so that you end up forcing them to commit resources onto something that will then get knocked out the following turn, which means they don't have any backup attackers, which means Zygarde can do its thing and just run for everyone. So similar to how Yveltal uses Flare Grunt, we can do the same thing there. It also puts Yveltal players on the back foot so they can't White Cyclone around in fear of getting stuck in the active. So that's definitely an option for you. There's also Giovanni's Scheme. The deck is all about increasing its output. The Strong Energies, the Regirocks, all that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, there's resistance in format, and Garbodor can shut off Regirock. So sometimes you still need Giovanni in here to do good numbers. I know Luke's current list likes Giovanni. Didn't throw it in the actual list because I like 2E Hammer just too much right now. But Giovanni's something he's toyed around with, so you should too, more than likely. And what's my final card? Oh yeah, Delinquent. Delinquent. We're playing 2 Parallel, and Parallel's big right now. So you need extra ways of bouncing that from your opponent, as well as your opponent always has to play around Delinquent in every game. So it feels good. I think a lot of the time we have better VS Seeker targets, like doing the PCL play is more of a big moment in a game rather than Delinquent. So at the moment it's not in here, but I can see, just for the argument of Stadium War, Delinquent could be a good option. So yeah, so that's the list. It plays very differently from a lot of decks, but Luke himself has top 32s, a regional. He also no, he whiffed the winning in. He top 64'd in Dortmund. He came 4th place in a League Cup. So he's been getting results with Turbo Zygarde, and I thought it was about time that we showed it off because there's a lot of hype around it now that it's doing well in Standards. So I thought I'd show it off. Should be fun. And I just like his aggressive approach, and it's just pretty simple, so it's quite a good one, I think, maybe for beginners to play. You can obviously get the Zygarde in tins, You can get Hoopa from a tin. It's really just the two Shaymin that are too pricey. But it's just a basic deck. It's just learning the standard sort of damage and HP and heal and the cornerstones of Pokemon, really. That's what Zygarde's good at being, just having lots of health and having lots of damage without being too worried about anything else. And Whoopee, the best starter, especially when we have Floatstone and Elixir in hand. The only thing we're missing right now is a supporter. But we could potentially look at a lot of damage here turn 1. We could be, if we hit the Elixir, we could be doing Cellstorm for 100 this turn, which could be quite fun. Looks like we're up against at least Glaceon, and we do see Forest, so we're up against Plume Box. Plume Box is very difficult, not gonna lie. Plume Box is hard. Let's see if the opponent can get the turn 1 Dream or not. They do attach double colourless to Glaceon. Obviously our entire hand is items right now, apart from 1 energy, and we chose to lead Regirock, which could look silly if the item lock is established, but yeah, we'll see what goes on here. We see a nice clean setup for 5 cards. There's the Gloom. Doesn't look good for us, guys. We're probably in trouble here. There is Ultra Ball. Discarding a Shaymin, so we know it's a strong hand. He probably just goes instant Vileplume here. Yep. That looks pretty good to me. Unfortunately, Power Memory isn't the same as G-Booster because G-Booster could get through all effects. And of course, Power Memory doesn't do that, which is a shame. There's Manaphy and there's a pass. So we actually top deck Sycamore, which I can't complain with. So we'll just do that. And is it worth scorching here? I don't think it really is. There's not much I need to draw into other than like supporters for next turn. So we'll just see what goes on. See the attachment to Glaceon, and we're going to see the Crystal Array for 70. Goes back over to us. We get another Sycamore. I'm just going to Strong Energy pass, I think. Again, not too much else I want. I guess I could Scorched Earth and find exactly Olympia, which would be good. Okay. I could even just Sycamore now. Let's Scorched Earth. Okay. That'll do. There's Ninja Boy. So if they have Rainbow Energy in hand, I'll be pretty sad if they do it to the active. Could just be for the Shaymin as well. That would also be awkward. Oh, we see the Mew EX. Okay, so he's going to start copying Regice. That makes a lot of sense. Mew also hits for weakness on our non-EX Hoopa, which is pretty grim. Let's just attach and... yeah, we'll just Sycamore this hand. There's Olympia. Late as ever. Let's put some stuff down. Scorched. There's a Lysandre, which is going to be pretty crucial to stopping this destruction that's happening right now. Okay, we have Lysandre. Question is, do I Lysandre KO Plume? I think yes. How many VSs have we gone through? 3 already? That's pretty gross. Just by aggressive Sycamores. Obviously, if we get rid of Plume, he guarantees like he sets up more. So maybe I just Lysandre Regice and see if they have another Regice. So risky. Okay. Let's do it. Let's roll the dice. I just feel if we KO the Vileplume, they have more outs, and we still only have 1 VS in deck, that's not really worth changing much. let's see if they can find themselves a backup attacker. They need to find, what's it called, Rainbow Energy. It looks like we are going to see the bench of 2 Pokemans and an N. Let's see if they can get a Rainbow off the N to 4. Oh, they attach it to the bench. Okay, so what attack are they stealing? Burrow? Rototiller, maybe? Rototiller back in some energy? Oh, Sky Return. They just lost themselves a lot of energy. Trying to get back that DCE to then, like, Jolteon win the game. But they're feeding us a prize at least via Bunnelby. Okay, they bring up Shaymin. We can actually one-hit KO this Shaymin because of the Strongs and the Regirock. They have a Mew in hand. Do I want to Parallel City at this point? Get rid of that Bunnelby. I do still quite like having Scorched Earth just for the option. I might Scorched Dig for Lysandre. I guess that's my best thing here. Hex E-Hammer seems pretty good as well. And we can Super Rod in some energies also. Now that I've shut off Regirock, do I still have enough damage? I'm doing 120, 140. He's got 130 effectively. I'm just going to hold this energy, I think. So let's Land's Wrath for the KO. Scorched Earth putting in a lot of work here. Now they're in the awkward spot of what to promote. They actually promote the Vileplume, which is pretty brave. Wow, this Plume box actually plays Float Stones. That's rare. There's an Unknown as well going to the bench. There's a DC on the Mew. And we're going to see a Professor Sycamore. That's a lot of energy going. Retreat into Unknown. Cool. Not bad. Let's keep up this Scorched Earth hype. Let's attach some more energy. And we can sell Storm to heal ourselves up here. And now we're 2 prizes away. Just digging for that Lysandre. And there he is. Nice. And we see a Lysandre from our opponent. That changes a few things. Olympia is still in our deck, I believe. It got end away from us. I'm going to see a Burrow. Don't get rid of Olympia. That's all I ask. Okay. Oh. Well, things have been going very well for us this game. I think that's fair to say. Let's attach an energy. Now we're 1 prize away. Lysandre's still the win condition. That 1 E-Hammer, clutch. Pretty clutch, I would say. Gonna see the opponent set up for 1. Gonna see a Ninja Boy. For a fail. And a scoop. Zygarde, we did it, boys. Nice. Hex E-Hammer combo, OP. That was pretty cool. Scorched Earth putting a huge shift there. That was cool to see. So, let's find another game. Overcoming a Plume box. Who knew? We took our gambles. Paid off. So we're up against Victini Man, 1, 2, 3, 9, 7. And we will flip a coin. And we'll go ahead and win that flip. Even though we can do crazy damage turn 1, it's still nice to go first, so that you can get elixir value and bop things in the face. So, we can hold this because we're going first. And our opponent leads Shaymin EX. So, I'm not that threatened. So I might just rope in straight away here. The only issue, of course, being that I can't then get elixir value. I think we can just discard this. Discard this hand. Hope for float stones. Big trainer's mail here. Float's pretty good. I'm happy to hold this for now. We can get an extra draw from Shaymin next turn if need be, if we want to dig for elixirs to actually KO this guy. So we'll just hold. We see Yveltal EX, so we're up against the Yveltal deck. We see a Max Elixir turn 1. Going ahead and hitting, see an attachment, see a floatstone to their own Shaymin, and a Professor Sycamore. Not bad at all. There's a Trubbish. Garbodor is a target in here because the resistance cancels out our Regirocks. But obviously if Garb comes online, then our output is just not really enough. So at some point we do need to deal with Garbodor. Surprised that we're actually seeing this retreat in. It's pretty aggressive, but I guess with the E-Hammer it makes more sense. They're going to prod for 60. So, top decking Super Rod is not ideal here. We'll set up for 2 cards. Try and hit, like, even Ultra Ball's good here. Ultra Ball and Elixir. Well, 1 Elixir. Here we go. The Dream. And do I Sycamore? What else do I really need this turn? There's not much I need. I could just hold this. We'll just go ahead and sell Storm for 100 and... Oh, sorry, 90 with the resist. Putting good pressure on. We'll see what they can come up with. There's a DCE. And a VS Seeker for a Team Flare Grunt. Going to get rid of our Strong, I imagine. There we go. And an Evil Ball for 120. So, we have 110. Heal 30. Back to 80. No, back to 140. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think I still do this just for pressure. I will use the Elixir. Fail anyway. And now we are forced into a Sycamore, unfortunately. I can clear Hoopa off my board, if Shaymin off my board if I wish. We can also Ultra Ball for a Shaymin here. Not really sure what I want to dig for, but just before I can get Garbadored really is the thing I'm thinking of. I might start off with a Scorched Earth, see what that gets me. We're going to get rid of Olympia here and Hoopa. Just for thinning purposes. How good is Fury Belt? Probably better than Lysandre, right? Unless I need Lysandre to stall. Yeah, we probably need Fury Belt less right now. A little bit less. So let's Stealth Storm, keeping up some pressure. You can instantly see why the resistance is annoying. So they currently have the Evil Ball KO. It's just what else they have in their hand, really. They had a slow turn. They had a Flagrant turn. We'll see if that's... if they have anything else. You're going to see an N, which I do quite appreciate. Not when it's like that, though. No, this is fine. Gonna see an Ultra Ball. Gets rid of an EX and a Dark. And then we see a Super Rod. To recycle those things, there's the Fright Knight and an EX. Not bad. Wow. That's the nicest N I think you'll ever get. Okay. Let's hope that they don't... Okay, there's Elixirs. Yeah. Oh, okay. Missing one is nice. Let's see if they have a manual attachment. Yep. They actually commit to the Fright Knight, which is interesting. And there's the Evil Ball. So we can promote Regirock for now at least, because Fright Knight is chilling on the bench. We will go for the Trainer's Mail before the Elixir, because we kind of need to hit that guy. Let's find ourselves another Elixir, which is going to be pretty good. And let's turn this game around, shall we? Yeah, that's what I thought. And again. Oh, the dream. The dream. Now again, I'm in one of these spots where I kind of don't really need to do much. I like keeping VS Seeker for Olympia. I like holding PCL for next turn. I just like this hand. So we'll just smack him up with Cellstorm. Keeping up the prizes. For now at least. Picking up N is a big deal. More Max Elixirs from the opponent. This time goes on to the EX. See a DC attachment to the Fright Knight. And VS Seeker for N. And there's a Floatstone onto Trubbish. And N is going to be played. Into some good stuff as long as... Okay, there's Garbodor. 3 Ultra Balls. Okay, going for the Shaymin EX is interesting. We'll start off with a Scorched Earth here for potentially more options. How much HP? 130. Can't really comfortably bring this guy up. One card hand. Really just depends on that one card hand. I might Lysandre here, knowing that I can't KO, and hope that they can't move. But with non-EX Hoopa in the discard, that feels a lot worse. Is our Rod still in here? No, we played Rod as well. Or we got rid of Rod. Let's go risky. Ugh. We'll sell Storm to try and heal ourselves up a bit. Okay. So they go down to 2 prizes. Fury Belt is a big deal here. It's pretty nice. We'll Sycamore. So thanks to Garb, we're only doing 100 with our main attack, so we just heal up here, I think. Not ideal having to get through this non-EX. Kind of need to find N as well. There's Energy Fury Belt. And Pitchback Spear again. Okay, there's N. So that's pretty good. I'm going to Ultra Ball a couple of things away before N to improve our odds. And we'll just play N here. How much health will I have remaining? 110 to 140, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Man, this is dicey. End and pray. How many times have you heard that? There's Zygarde EX and an N of our opponent. No energy blocks. See a retreat. Ah, there's energy. Okay. Pretty grim loss there. We never got value from our E-hammers. Had to discard one early. And I think also not utilising non-EX Super there could have been an issue that I probably should have gone for. Setting up the Fright Knight and KOing the 10 HP the 10 HP EX seemed like a pretty smart play looking back at that. So I think that's more my inexperience with the deck. I know Luke says that it's obviously not your favourite matchup, but it's definitely winnable. So maybe that one goes down to my inexperience with the deck. But yeah, not the easiest of matchups. And maybe that's something holding back Zygarde from being top tables more often at least. But we will have another game here. And we lead with Shaymin with a pretty gross hand. But we have lots of switching options. It's not too bad. Ultra Ball off the top would be the dream. And we're saying another Trubbish. Maybe another Yveltal. Ranger and Lysandre. And we see a Hoopa EX, so this is not... I don't think this is Yveltal. This could be Dark Tina, maybe? Question mark? Oh boy. Darkrai Salamence. Now Beastly Fang can be annoying, but we have Parallel and we have E-hammers, so not that scared. Especially when we have E-hammer in opening hand. Another Darkrai. Oh, the joys of starting Shaymin EX. Well, that always happens. Do I ever attach this energy? Don't think I do. I feel safe from all of his attacks, so I don't even need to Sycamore aggressively here. We'll just end. Wow, that's pretty grim. Save me, Shaymin. Nah. Nah, M8. That's pretty lame. Potentially one of the issues of only having 9 Pokemon. But we also have 3 male, 3 ultra. There's a lot of things we could have drawn there. Maybe punishing me for not being aggressive enough with Sycamore. We are going to see a Sycamore from the opponent. They've still not seen what we play at all. Oh boy. There's Salamence. Not phased by that early E-Hammer. Also going to Ultra Ball out Garbodor, it looks like. Salamence is going to KO us quite comfortably here. Come on now, game. Not like this. Okay. Ah, special charge, where are you? I'm not going to Super Rod back in Shaymin. Oh, game, give me an Ultra Ball. Come on. Game. Damn it, game. Fine. Be that way. I'll just Sycamore away all my strong energies, I guess, this game. Damn it, game. Gonna see that Beastly Fang for 120. Ugh. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I don't think he can KO this. Let's just bounce. And hope for more Ultra Ball top decks. Oh, we're going to get hit with a Dragon Strike? Looks like it. Going to see VS Seeker for Sycamore. There's an Elixir. Uh-oh. 12, 14. Okay. Come on now, game. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. Okay. We play E-Switch. This is worth it. Okay. We don't play double E-Switch. Attach PCL pass. No, it's got to be Sycamore, right? N, maybe? Oh, N betrayed me last time. Let's believe in him again. Okay. This is still worth it, just because lowering Darkrai's output. Finally, the man himself has revealed. Ultra Ball about a million turns late. Good job. Let's keep digging. We'll take that just in case we want to N. Especially if they go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. He could quite easily retreat out of this. KO with Darkrai next turn. N to 2. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. Kind of a silly game. Okay. That's pretty annoying. Not gonna lie. Let's go, N. You've been terrible all game. Still trusting in you. Okay, there's some things. We got some things. But we've drawn into all of our energy, which is a bit of a beetle. Oh, we still got one. The dream. Let's see if we can come back into this game. I doubt it. But you never know. Oh, N has been so poor. He's just Lysandre and willy-nilly now. Yep, that was just weird. Weird old game. Potentially looking back at that very early Lysandre versus Sycamore v N option. Maybe that was my misplay. I think from there wasn't much. Oh well. Let's try again. Last game with this deck. Not done well to advertise it. Sorry, Luke. But that should be a bread and butter game for us, really. Just didn't draw an Ultra Ball. And those are good, I hear, when you lead Shaymin EX. Oh, we're actually going to be able to Hoopa this game, as long as we keep our hand. Imagine that. Imagine a world where Hoopa EX actually works. Anyways, Salt Life. Ranting over. More stally wally Pokemon that I'm facing. Oh joy. That'll make me less angry. Let's see if he's going to go Lone Jolt or not. It's kind of brave to go Lone Jolteon when he only sees Shaymin, because like every deck plays Shaymin, apart from Greninja. So we shall see. There's potential to play non-EX Zygarde in here as well, just to be a counter to like Regice, but obviously Jolteon's still an issue, so our main way around Jolteon is the 2 E-Hammer in our hand, in our deck even. Oh, we see a Scoop. Okie doke. Again, Flare Grunt could be that sort of card as well. I think I put in Flare Grunt over Ranger in this deck. But regardless, let's find an actual game, because I promised you an extra one. And don't want to sell you guys short. That would just be rude. It's actually going to be a double upload today, guys. So stay tuned. Me and Jack are doing how to counter Yveltal. A whole video about it, so it should be fun. Regardless, we found ourselves a game. We win the flip, so we will begin. And that is a hand I am happy to mulligan, and we're up against the lightning deck. Not going to be too confident because Jolteon is usually one of the main things within a lightning deck, but we'll see what we can do. We can E-hammer away those electrodes, which could be quite troll. Couple of mulligans from us, 3 in fact. Showing him all the fighting shenanigans. More mulligans. More mulligans. It's like we're Greninja right now. There we go. So all these top decks are going to be irrelevant because we can just N, which may be a bit annoying, but that's good for us. They get some extra bench Pokemon. And we get to lead off with the Trainer's Mail here. There's nothing we really need. Like, we're always ending our hand anyway. I was thinking if I want second Floatstone just to instantly put it on this guy. I think I will bench this guy just for some snipes in case I have nothing better to do against a Jolteon or something. I'm going to put Scorched in and I'm just going to end without attaching. Want to be more aggressive with Zygardes if possible. There is Zygarde. We know Elixir. I don't really mind committing Power Memory so that we can Shaymin for an extra card here. Want to get a manual attachment in is the dream. No luck though. We do have an Elixir. Oh boy. That's pretty aggressive stuff for turn 1, seeing as though we have no manual attachment. Let's pass. There's Raikou and an attachment as well. And a Fury Belt also. Gonna see an Ultra Ball too. Getting rid of Lysandre and Ultra Ball. There's another Raikou. Maybe Shaymin in hand or Sycamore. Oh, N. Okay. Get into a pretty nice hand here. Double Fury Belting up. There's a Trainer's Mail. Still not seen a manual attachment all game from either player, which is a little bit bizarre, but we'll roll with it for now. I'm just going to see a pass, so I'm just going to, yeah, we'll just continue with this line. Lysandre Raikou, or do I just Lysandre this guy? I think I want to deal with Remoraid here. Seems like a big part of his deck. I'm never worried about his actual attackers, I don't think. Make sure that we don't click all cells burn. And we'll take a cheeky prize. Try and stop their draw engine. Sounds like a good idea to me. In comes Voltorb. Of course it can choose to discard itself if it evolves into an Electrode, so pretty smart play. We will see a Trainer's Mail. Going to see an Ultra Ball as well. Haven't seen a sign of Jolteon EX yet, which is good. There's Electrode. That's going to evolve up. And do we see a Bazap Thunder here? I would imagine so. If they're willing to search it out. There's VS Seeker for N. You don't end first. Oh. Oh dear. Thanks to the extra card, I guess. I'll take it. Deary me. Thanks for 2 extra cards, in fact. Well, it's one, but yeah. Well, clearly I Lysandre you. Come here. Yeah, we see the scoop. So, for those decks trying to counter Yveltal, you get freebies. So, that's cool as well. Let me know what you guys think about Turbo Zygarde. We had some weird games, not going to lie. The Yveltal one was interesting, but I still think we had a bad rub of the green in terms of draws. Obviously, the Darkrai Salamence was just crazy. Just, that happens with any deck, I guess. So yeah, can't really say much about that game. But let me know what you guys think about this deck. Can it survive even with Yveltal around? It'll be interesting to see how this develops, if it remains a rogue that not many people play, or if people start picking up on it now that it's done well in Expanded. It'll be interesting to see. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave your comments in the section below. Let me know what you think. It's been Joe from Omnipoke, and I will see you guys next time.